Today, we're talking about a miner's shield, but not a literal one. We're going to journey through the critical safety training from the Mine Safety and Health Administration, or MSHA, as you'll hear me call it, that every single new miner has to master before they can even think about stepping onto a mine site.
So, what really keeps a new miner safe and what is, let's be honest, one of the most essential but also hazardous jobs out there? Is it just luck? Good instincts? No way. It's a carefully built system of knowledge, designed to build safety right from the ground up.
The answer, well, it lies in a federal regulation called MSHA Part 46. Think of this as the rulebook, the blueprint, the entire framework designed to create a solid foundation of safety for every person who enters the world of surface mining.
The best way to get a handle on how this all works is to just follow a new miner. Let's picture them on day one. They've got the new hard hat, new boots, and they're probably feeling a mix of excitement and, a little bit of nervousness. Their career, and more importantly, their safety, starts right here, right now. And when we talk about mining, you might be surprised at the scope here. Part 46 isn't just for one kind of mine. Nope, it applies to a huge range of surface operations. We're talking everything from your local sand and gravel pits to massive granite quarries and cement plants. The same core safety principles protect every single person.
So for our new miner, that first period on the job is absolutely critical. The whole system is built around a really simple but powerful idea. You learn how to be safe before you learn how to do the job. And it all kicks off with the first 24 hours of training.
24. Let that sink in. That's the minimum number of training hours that every new miner must complete. And it's not some rushed one-day crash course. It's actually phased in over time to make sure that all this crucial knowledge really sinks in.
And this is where that safety-first philosophy really kicks into high gear. Before our new miner even touches a piece of equipment, before they start their very first task, they have to complete a minimum of 4 hours of foundational training. It is an absolute non-negotiable.
So what exactly are they learning in those first critical hours? The absolute essentials for survival. They get a tour of the mines so they can understand the lay of the land. They learn how to spot big hazards like sketchy ground conditions or busy traffic patterns. They go over emergency plans. And just as important, they're taught their legal rights as a miner and exactly how to report a hazard if they see one.
And look how this is structured. It's not a one-day information dump. After those first 4 hours, our miner has 60 days to get trained up on things like first aid and self-rescue devices. The full 24 hours just has to be done by day 90. It's this methodical pace that really makes sure the knowledge sticks.
Okay, so our miner has the basics of the site down. Now it's time to actually learn their specific job. And this next phase is all about mastering a new task. But, you guessed it, safety is woven into every single step of the process.
Let's say our miner is assigned to operate one of those huge haul trucks. They can't just hop in and go for a spin. First, they have to get what's called new task training. And this isn't just about, here's the ignition, here's the steering wheel. It's dedicated instruction specifically on the health and safety aspects of running that truck.
So who's doing the teaching? That's where the competent person comes in. And this is such a critical role. It's someone the company designates who not only knows the job inside and out, but also knows how to teach it effectively and, crucially, can tell if the new person actually gets it.
And this is key. All the practice, all the hands-on learning, happens under what MSA calls close observation. That expert instructor is right there, watching every move, guiding them. This makes sure our new miner can do the job safely before they're ever let loose on their own. The number one priority is safety, not production speed.
But here's the thing. This system doesn't just put all the responsibility for safety on the company. It actually empowers each miner with a really critical role and gives them real authority. This is where your personal choices and your voice really matter.
So what happens when our miner, now working on their own, spots something that just doesn't feel right? Maybe a rock wall looks unstable, or a piece of equipment is making a weird noise. Do they just cross their fingers and hope for the best? Absolutely not.
This really shows the two sides of the safety coin. You have rights and you have responsibilities. Miners have the absolute right to good training, the right to file a safety complaint, and even the right to refuse to do work they believe is unsafe. But with those rights come duties. You've got to follow the rules, and you've got to tell the operator about a hazard. Give them a fair chance to fix it. It's a partnership.
And here's a key protection that's built right into the system. If a miner decides to report a hazard directly to MSHA, they can do it completely anonymously.
This is so important because it makes sure that fear of getting in trouble never gets in the way of making a mine safer.
All right, so our miners got their 24 hours in, they're task trained, they know their rights. So that's it, right? Training's done forever? Nope, not even close. Safety isn't a one-and-done deal. It's an ongoing, continuous commitment.
You really have to think of safety training as a continuous cycle. New info is always coming in, skills need to be refreshed, and general awareness has to be reinforced over and over again for a miner's entire career.
That's right. Every single year, without fail, our miner and every other miner on that site has to complete at least 8 hours of annual refresher training. This keeps everyone up to speed on changes at the mine, and it hammers home those core safety principles. Safety knowledge is never, ever allowed to get stale.
So how do we know all this training is actually happening? Well, it's all documented. Every single training session is recorded, usually on MSHA's Form 50,000-23, and then it's certified. This creates a clear paper trail for accountability, and it also gives miners a permanent record of their own qualifications that they can take with them.
And this is so important. This safety net is totally comprehensive. It's not just for the full-time company employees. These rules apply to everyone working in mining operations on that site. That includes independent contractors. This way, there's a consistent standard of safety and no one falls through the cracks.
And this, right here, this is the ultimate guarantee. It's not just a nice idea or a company policy, it is written directly into the law. You are protected when you exercise your right to a safe workplace. An employer cannot fire you, demote you, or punish you in any way for speaking up. That is the very bedrock of a miner's power.
So when you step back and look at the whole thing, from that very first hour of training all the way to the annual refreshers years down the road, you see that the Part 46 framework does so much more than just teach rules. It builds a culture. It's a system designed to transfer knowledge, which leaves us with a pretty big question. If knowledge is the first line of defense, how does this framework turn every single miner into a guardian, not just of their own safety, but of everyone's around them?